Oh, hey, got some tea? It's a show business trick. I actually don't even have any tea. See, look, no tea. It's a puppet tealess tea. So I guess that would just make it puppet. But there's no puppets either. It's just me. Yeah, just puppet tea, no puppets, no tea. Just wanted to talk to you about something cool that I saw on the web and maybe have a little conversation with you about it. This comes from Karen X. Chang. She's a social media influencer and a creator, a filmmaker. And she has made this really interesting social media clip, mini film, using AI and basically object performance. So she's taken a bunch of ordinary objects like cardboard boxes and books and a toilet seat and some paper, construction paper, some blankets and pillows, a computer mouse with water bottle lids as wheels. And basically she's run that through an AI filter. And through a lot of testing and a lot of experimentation, she's created an animation using AI and practical objects. I'm really, really interested in this kind of technology because I think the problem with puppetry from a top-down kind of perspective is that there's a lot of waste. It takes a lot of resources to make puppets and to make puppet sets. And that takes time, and time is money, and space. You have to have enough space. So like right now I'm in a smaller flat. I'm not able to make puppets like I used to be able to make puppets. Although I still do quite a lot, taking over all the surface area in this flat. So someone who's able to do something like this, basically take whatever's lying around and convert it into the tools of puppetry, basically, is fascinating to me, and I think there's a lot of real potential. Now, a lot of the comments on this video are saying things like, hey, can't we just see the video with the cardboard pieces? Like, isn't that enough? And that's kind of what puppet films are like. They have that kind of look of being very homemade. So there was this whole subgenre on YouTube 10 years ago that people used to send me all the time. It's called Sweeted. And people would basically take a trailer or a film that had just come out or something, a clip, and they would imitate it using just household objects and cardboard and stuff they had lying around. And so the idea was to make like a version of that trailer with no resources and let the absence of resources be your aesthetic, right? So your limitation becomes your style, right? Genius idea, really. And what Karen has just done here is basically the same thing. She's created very simple props and sets using household items to create kind of a style, but rather than stick with that style or lean into that as the style, she's taken it a step further and introduced AI into the picture to kind of expand that and fill it out. I'm not sure how I feel about it, because part of the goal of puppetry and part of what makes those Sweeted trailers so great is the style that you get from it, right? So the style itself is determined by the limitations, and if you take the AI footage, and obviously this is early days for it, so it's not, this isn't happening with this video and probably won't happen for a while. Still, the technology's still got a ways to go. But the point I'm making is that it's not likely to elicit the same kind of response. It elicits a different response, like you would get from watching something like Loving Vincent, which is a film entirely comprised of oil paintings. So you look at individual frames of oil painting and it's a style. Enjoy it and appreciate it for what it is. It's not the same as, it doesn't have that tactile quality, that homemade quality that we look for in good puppet films. The question becomes, is homemade an okay choice? Is it okay to just make stuff homemade? And you'd think the obvious answer for someone like me who enjoys this kind of thing would be yes. It's not so obvious, really, because you always want to be professional. And so how do you walk that line of being professional but also having things made out of cardboard? I think the best example of this that I can think of is a movie called Dave Made a Maze. Dave Made a Maze is about a guy named Dave who builds a maze, and it's bigger on the inside, and a bunch of people at a party come over to see his maze, and they go inside it and they get lost, and they go on an adventure in the maze. Great movie. Can't recommend it enough. It's a great low budget. If you need a guidebook on how to make an indie film with a low budget, Dave Made a Maze, and still have it be like a creative, exciting, original concept, Dave Made a Maze is the best example of that I can think of from his decade, really. But the thing about Dave Made a Maze is that it's very artfully done. It could be just throwaway looking stuff. If I had made all those cardboard sets, it would look a lot more throwaway. But you can tell that Bill Watterson, the director, not the cartoonist, the film director, put a lot of effort into the production design and worked really hard with his production design team to make sure that the sets were up to a high quality standard and were really visually interesting without sacrificing any of that aesthetic. But I want to know, what do you think are ways to get a balance between a homemade aesthetic and a professional, aesthetic? How much is too much of either one of those? How do you keep from looking cheap on the one hand, and how do you keep from looking too glossy on the other? I'd love to know your thoughts. And check out Dave Made a Maze, because I think of all the artists I know, he's the one who struck that balance the best. And there's loads of others too. There's so much to talk about. But right now, I'm out of tea. So that's the end. It's the end. We've come to the end. Please like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to leave a comment answering my question. And I'll see you next time. Hopefully with tea. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye. I'm just... Okay.
Oh. Now, would you say that was too glossy or too cheap? Ugh.